Hi, my name is Karlin Moore, president of Westward Gold. We are an emerging gold exploration company with assets in Nevada. You can find our common shares traded on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the ticker WG, in the US on the OTCQB Ventures Exchange under the ticker WGLIF, and in Frankfurt under the ticker IM50. Very excited to be presenting to the World Outlook Financial Conference. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you for everyone who's attending. And I'm going to be speaking about why Westward should be part of your portfolio in 2022. To start out, in the last 9 months, we've been very busy. We're a fresh story. We've managed to consolidate a fully contiguous package of 40 square kilometers in the heart of the Battle Mountain Eureka Trend, which is one of the most prolific mining districts in the entire world. In Nevada, one of the best states for gold mining. Through a series of M&A and staking, we've put this package together. We've three projects we have here. Toyabe to the west there in blue, that's the most advanced projects. We have active drill permits, past historical drilling. There's a historical resource of 173,000 ounces at 1.2 grams per ton near surface. And moving to the east, we've added the Turquoise Canyon project, which has never seen any drilling, but all indications geologically say that things are trending from the west, from Toyabe onto Turquoise Canyon. Very excited to put the first drill holes into that project. And most recently, in December of 2021, we added what we're calling the East Saddle project. That is bordering Barrick's past producing Toyabe Saddle mine and is fully contiguous adjacent south of our other projects. So all said and done, 40 square kilometers. We like to say we're exploring in Barrick's backyard. This is their territory, and we've managed to put this package together right under their noses. We're positioned for growth through additional M&A, additional staking. We have a tight share structure. We have a lot of insider ownership, and we're just getting started on this story. Just highlighting the land package zoomed in. It's good to have big neighbors, important neighbors. And if you look at that map there, we're surrounded by major mining companies, Barrick, NGM, which is the Barrick Newmont JV. We have AngloGold, SSR Mining, and a private equity company called Waterton is also surrounding us. Looking at the leadership team, I'll speak for myself personally. I've spent my entire professional career in the mining industry, multifaceted disciplines. Started out as a mining engineer, working for major mining companies at site, transitioning to some consulting work before moving into the corporate finance part of the world. Investment banker at Bank of Montreal in Toronto. And then I was on the investment team of major Canadian private equity funds, including Waterton, the company I just mentioned, in Toronto, and more recently, Pacific Road Capital in Vancouver. We've put together a really strong team of both technical and capital markets folks here. We'll just go briefly down the list here. Raymond Harari is our CEO. He's another capital markets expert, entrepreneur focused on seeding early stage companies, particularly in the resource sector. Andrew Nelson is our CFO. He has an accounting and an investment banking background, also specifically to mining over the last decade plus. David Browning is our man on the ground. He's based in Reno, Nevada. He's our VP of exploration. He's designed and led multiple programs for companies of all sizes with a particular focus on these trends in Nevada. He's also a world expert in hyperspectral technology, which we'll be touching on a little bit later. It's a new age tech that has really helped advance the exploration, the early stage exploration. I should mention that my involvement in this company began just over 2 years ago when myself, Andrew, and a few other guys put together a private company called Momentum Minerals, and we acquired the Turquoise Canyon project. And that was one of the dominoes in putting together this package. We were acquired in July of 2021, and we've been helping to consolidate additional land and move the company forward ever since then. We have a very strong technical advisory committee. We've really stacked our bench here with people who know Nevada like the back of their hand and who have made successful discoveries over the last couple decades here. Richard Bedell, industry veteran, he's probably best known for his involvement with the discovery of the Long Canyon deposit, which was one of the most successful discoveries in Nevada over the last couple decades. That ultimately sold to Newmont for $2.3 billion. Stephen Kaler, a very experienced exploration geologist, most recently was with a company called Gold Standard Ventures. He's really a serial discoverer. He's made 11 Karlin type discoveries in Nevada. 6 of those are now producing mines. Notably Cortez Hills, which is what we think is an analogy to our project, 10 million ounces plus producing mine now, owned by Barrick, just 10 kilometers north of us. A couple PhD geologists, Dr. Chris Osterman, his involvement stems from Turquoise Canyon, where he actually owned that project in a predecessor company to First Mining Gold, who we optioned the project from. So he's known this project for 20 years. When he heard that we had picked it up and we were planning to drill it for the very first time, he's very excited to join us and to lend his knowledge of the project to us. And finally, Dr. Alan Carter, another PhD geo, also very savvy on the capital market side of things, with him being the CEO of Cabral Gold and chairman of Altamira and Fremont Gold. So a lot of veteran geologists complement our capital markets savvy management team running this. I mentioned that we do have active drill permits in place. We have what's called a plan of operations with the Bureau of Land Management. Part of this, part of maintaining this in good standing is obviously a commitment to best practices, environmental, social, and governance, and we make sure that we go above and beyond when it comes to our own practices and third-party contractors and consultants that we bring onto site. This is our current capital structure. I truly believe this is the ground floor, and that's borne out in our current valuation. We've kept the share structure fairly tight. We only have 46 million shares out to date. Right now, our market cap is hovering around 6 million Canadian, depending on the share price, with an enterprise value of about 5 million Canadian. Very much a ground floor story. We have a lot of insider ownership, just shy of 30% owned by insiders, directors, management like myself. Other big shareholders include Starcore International Mines. They were one of the companies that we did a deal on for the Toyabe project, and part of that consideration was shares. That's why they're such a big owner there. First Mining Gold is our optioner on the Turquoise Canyon project. They're at 2.6%. And Keith Neumeyer, the chairman of First Mining Gold and First Majestic, also is a personal shareholder. He invested alongside his company. I'm not going to delve too much into the macroeconomic themes here because I'm sure there are going to be lots of other speakers who are much more informed than I am. Just to say that gold is one of the most liquid commodities when it comes to mining M&A. So if you're going to be in a sector and you're looking for a monetization event or a way to make money for your shareholders through acquisition, gold has probably the broadest array of potential acquirers out there. And we think right now that we're right in the beginning of what could be a very, very profitable time over the next 3 to 5 years for gold. Just looking at our peer group and why we think Westward is a very compelling risk-reward profile. We're very early stage here in terms of the market's knowledge of what we've been able to build. And I think that's reflected in a valuation that is compelling compared to some of our other peers. We're kind of in the bottom third if you look at early stage gold exploration. A re-rate to the mean average would constitute nearly a double in our share price. And we do have a historical resource, so we're not as early stage as some of those peers. We have kind of a backstop for valuation that we plan on building on through resource expansion and additional M&A opportunities that we're very keen to look at. So we are in Nevada, and there's a lot of other companies likely presenting that are also based in Nevada. Just to say that it is one of the most desirable jurisdictions to invest in and to operate in. It's been 150, 200 years of mining history. They're a model for the world in terms of regulatory point of view, and also a lot of other companies who are looking to de-risk their portfolio, who may have assets in South America or Africa, have been looking to safer jurisdictions such as Nevada to get a foothold in. And a lot of that will have to be through M&A. So we've seen a lot of M&A activity continuously. And despite the long history of mining, there are still many discoveries to be made. And we believe that our projects could bear one of those out. So just diving into these projects that we've consolidated a little bit, Toyabe, as I mentioned, is the most advanced of the three. It's seen about 370 holes of historical drilling, a lot of sampling. We've inherited a lot of data from previous operators. So there's 1,400 hectares, about 165 mining claims that cover the property. I mentioned that historical resource of 173,000 ounces at 1.2 grams per ton. So for Nevada right now, that is fairly high grade. It is near surface. You can see it on the map there in the southern section of that. It also is very nearby to the past producing Toyabe saddle mine, which produced in the late 90s. And that is currently owned by Barrick. It's been reclaimed, but we think that when they were mining it out, they only just scratched the surface of what this district has in potential. So we've inherited data from about 6 previous operators, and we've managed to consolidate that and essentially replicate tens of millions of dollars worth of work that we now have access to. So just looking at this map on the right-hand side here, we've put together what's called a grade thickness map. So really that tells us, we're looking for mineable widths. So if you have, low grade material, you want that over a very long width to be able to make it economic. If you have really high grade material, you can afford it to be a little bit narrower widths. Luckily for us, we have both high grade and disseminated gold and near surface. So we're looking at oxides, which are easily processable. Some of our more notable hits here, you have 70 meters at 0.9 grams per ton, which is a really good hit. Near surface, 15 meters at 0.7, 20 at 4 grams. So we're seeing this high grade mineralization near surface, which is really promising. That's kind of the smoke that we're looking for to show that there might be a big fire underneath, a feeder zone, as they call it. So part of the reason to put together this map, we can see the lateral extents, lots of potential east-west, but also lots of potential at depth. There's been about 370 holes put into this, and only 16% of those holes went past 180 meters. And there's good reason for us to believe that there is a larger disseminated ore body at depth. So just wrapping up on Toyabe, it has all the ingredients for an exciting Karlin type discovery. There are multiple Karlin mines in and around our area, and the geological features are extremely similar between what we have and what they have. Moving to the east, we've added the Turquoise Canyon project. Why this is exciting is because these two projects have never been consolidated in modern times or explored as a holistic package. And we think that the mineralization is trending from what we know at Toyabe on the west onto Turquoise Canyon. And this is fully maiden ground. It's never been drilled, despite having very favorable results from soil sampling, rock sampling, IP, airborne. We've basically done everything there is to do before putting drills in the ground. So this is going to be very exciting for us to move east and show potentially that we have district scale mineralization here. We've already identified 3 primary target zones. The southwest anomaly there in blue is just over the border from our historical resource at Toyabe. So that's going to be a high priority target. We We also have a thrust fault, which has been shown to carry mineralization along it. So we have that diagonal anomaly there, and then the northeast zone. So no shortage of near-term targets for us to investigate at Turquoise Canyon. And then most recently in December 2021, not too long ago, as a result of a field trip from our technical advisory committee, we identified an open ground to the south that's highly prospective. So there is carbonate, which is the host rock at surface that we've identified in the past producing mine and also in our historical resource. So there's this massive carbonate window to the south that was open. And once that, we were monitoring the situation, always looking to improve our land package. And once that land became available, we jumped on it in December. So we've added about 101 claims, increasing our project size by about 30%. So getting on to the exciting part, our maiden drill campaign that we're planning in 2022. All of the, the past operators have not been, they didn't have at their disposal the amount of information that we've had and we've consolidated since this company's inception. So what we're really looking to do here is to prove that this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the historical resource, what we call the Courtney Zone. So as a phase 1 program, we're looking to do about 4,000 meters of drilling, and that's going to target 3 primary areas, lateral extent of the deposit here. So to the east, we're looking at what's called the Courtney Extension Zone, which has seen a few holes, but not nearly to the extent that we'd like to see in terms of building out that thesis that this is really trending eastward onto Turquoise Canyon. The Toyabe Hills area, so that's actually a fault line that our advisors were walking, and they found what's called jasperoid at surface. And why that was interesting to them, and they had to inform me about this because I'm not a geologist, but that is a good indicator of silica alteration and a massive hydrothermal event, which is one of the key check marks when you're looking for Karlin type gold discoveries in Nevada. And then to the west, California target zone, that's another area where we've seen some high grade hits and some disseminated gold. So we'll be following up on that because that didn't see nearly the amount of holes that the Courtney zone resource saw. Just looking at another cross section here and touching on our targets, we do have a very good understanding of the structural controls here. So those are really the faults that you're seeing. And that middle area is the historical resource. So what we know is there. There's an interesting results we're getting from the IP there, suggesting there could be a feeder zone at depth, which was part of our thesis there. And then to the west, the California zone, which has been underexplored. And then to the east, a very new target, that TH fault, the Toyabe Hills fault that we're calling it. So those will be our prime areas for investigation in the springtime. Reprocessed gravity data, just another tool that we're using that really confirmed why we think these targets are interesting. We had Jim Wright, who was the lead geophysicist for Newmont, do a reprocessing of our information, and he concurs with the targets here and thinks that there's a lot more targets just based on what we're seeing in the gravity data here. And then just briefly, we are using the most up-to-date modern exploration methods, including the hyperspectral, which not a lot of companies of our size have the ability to do. And we're able to do that because our VP of exploration is a world expert. Richard Bedell is the chairman of TerraCore, who's a hyperspectral company. So we have a lot of these new age technologies that we're using. And I think that'll also benefit us not only in advancing this project, but in becoming more attractive to a potential major acquirer down the road. Looking at near-term plans and catalysts, We're just firming up our spring targets. So that'll be phase 1 of our drill campaign. We're very excited to hit the ground running in 2022. So that'll be in the latter half of Q2, early half of Q3, 2022. We're also going to be expanding our drill permits to include Turquoise Canyon. And then that'll be the impetus for putting the very first holes into Turquoise Canyon and potentially proving that this mineralization trends for kilometers wide onto the other ground that we've managed to consolidate. And we're always looking for new acquisition opportunities. We do have no shortage. We don't have any shortage of targets at our own property, but we're looking to consolidate land strategically always. So in summary, 40 square kilometers, this is the regional scale gravity. We've kind of cornered that entire anomaly there. We have known producing mines a stone's throw away from the borders. We have a known historical resource. We have favorable geology, good host rocks. We have a technical team that's made multiple Karlin type discoveries in Nevada. And we have a management team who's proven that they're able to consolidate significant land packages in a matter of 9 months. Tight share structure, strong insider ownership. And this is I think why we think Westward could be one of the success stories of 2022. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you tuning in to Westward Gold. Again, we are traded on the CSE, symbol WG, OTC, WGLAF, and Frankfurt IM50. Thank you very much.